The next step, I last Friday, yeah, last week, I'm talking we talking about God's creation, 7 days of His work and how God rested. He rested for all of His creation and completed. Now, the second one, I'm talking about the men and women in Eden. All right, I'm going to read this Bible, my Bible book, and I'm going to read it to you guys what it says. When the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, neither wild plants nor gains were growing on the earth. For the Lord God had not yet sent rain to water the earth, and there were no people to cultivate the soil. Instead, springs came up from the ground and watered all the land. Then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils, and man became the living person. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he placed the man he had made. The Lord God made all sorts of trees grow up from the ground, trees that were beautiful and that produced delicious fruit. In the middle of the garden, he placed the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from the land of Eden, watering the garden and then dividing into four branches. The first branch, called of the Pishon, flowed around the entire land of Havilah, where gold is found. The gold of that land is especially pure, aromatic resin and onyx stone are also found there. The second branch, called the Gihon, flowed around the entire land of Cush. The third branch, called the Tigris, flowed east of the land of Asher. Yeah, Asher, yeah. The fourth branch is called the Euphrates. The Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden to tend and watch over it, but the Lord God warned him, "You may freely eat the fruit of every tree in the garden, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat this fruit, you are sure to die." Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who just right for him." So the Lord God formed from the ground all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky. He brought them to the man to see that he would call them, and the man chose a name for each one. He gave names to all livestock, all the birds of the sky, and all wild animals. But still there was no helper just right for him. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While the man slept, the Lord God took out the one man's ribs and closed out the opening. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib, and he brought to her to the man. At last, at last, the man exclaimed, "This one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from man." This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. All right, I'm going to stop right there. Next week, I'm going to talk about the man and women sin. Yeah, next Friday, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to stop right there for now. The two words are sexuality and temptation. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop temptation for next Friday. Next Friday. What does sexuality mean? When the unity candle is lit at a wedding, it symbolizes a unique relationship, leaving father and mother and joining as bride and groom in such a way that the two become one. We don't fully understand sexual union, but we do know that God intended to bond married people together in a way different from any other relationship. This physical intimacy is designed to be experienced exclusively and uniquely within a marriage between a man and a woman, and it is a model of vulnerability and unity that should be experienced in all aspects of marriage. Our fallen world has come to view sex simply as an act of pleasure rather than a doorway to deepest vulnerability and sharing. This is why sex outside of marriage is so wrong, and it destroys the proper view and function of sex as the ultimate act of intimacy that two people can experience together. A casual view of sex devalues and it takes away one of the most powerful channels of communication between the husband and wife. When sex is seen simply as a physical act, it loses its power to bond two people together. Lack of intimacy is one of the great destroyers of a marriage. Use all the resources God has given to you keep sex alive in your marriage, functioning and is once designed to function. Wow, this is really. Oh, hey Kayla, how you doing? Good reading. Oh, thank you so much, Kayla. Nice to meet you. I love God. Exactly. I love God as well. Thank you so much for commenting me. Thank you so much for commenting. I hope you want to join us. Thank you so much. This is my first comment. Wow, I only had 3 comments from Kayla. So nice to meet you, Kayla. So Kayla, I'm talking about last week, Kayla, I'm talking about how how God created heaven and earth. God created 7 days and God rested for all of his creation. Yeah, I've been studying a lot. Really a lot. I've been reading this for a long time, trust me. I've been reading this for a long time. Okay, the part where the man exclaimed, he said, "This one is bone from my bone and flesh is my from my flesh. She will be called woman. She will be called woman," the man asked. Yeah, this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife and he are united into one. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. This is very interesting. I'm gonna stop for next week. I'm gonna stop at the man and women's sin for next Friday, for next week. I want to say thank you so much for joining my live stream in this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, notification bell, comment, and see more to talk about next. I'm talking about next week's of the man and women's sin of God's creation, the book of Genesis. I'll see you guys later, and God bless you.